Hey, welcome to a special edition of the Taj Longino Show. I'm located right now on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Company name Smith American Bail Bonds. I'm sitting with the CEO, bail agent Brent Smith, a licensed bondsman, and he wants to talk to us about a situation that's going on in the city of Indianapolis concerning bail bondsmen and concerning high risk felons. So welcome to the show, and also a good buddy of mine. Been knowing Brent for some time now. We did the music video together, and that's another story. Brent, what's going on, bro?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
I'm all right. Now you, um, almost a month ago, I think you contacted me, and you was concerned. You wanted to speak about some things concerning a situation that's going on in the city that residents really don't know about, and it can turn into a situation where it can be high risk for those who are unaware of how the city is operating when it comes to a robbery suspect or a murder suspect or a child molester
Correct.
getting arrested and getting right back out almost.
Correct.
So, for the people who are unaware, please just give them a little bit of your background, and then let's get into the cash bond pretrial release topic.
Yes. Once again, my name is Brent Smith. I am the owner of Smith American Bail Bonds. I've been a licensed bail bondsman for, say, a little over 5 years. I started in recovery approximately, I would say, about 8 years ago, 9 years. So I'm pretty, somewhat excessively knowledgeable of the bail bond industry. There's some things that do concern me, as we have talked about in the previous weeks. Is the way the bail bond system is being attacked, just not locally, but it is being attacked nationally. Therefore, there are a lot of nonprofit organizations out here who are rallying against bail bonds, the bail bond industry for bail reform. Are there some pros? Yes. Are pros and cons to the changes or what they're trying to do? I agree with, and there are some issues that they are proceeding with that I see that are a high risk to the public in general, just not locally but nationally. One of the things that I do want to address and I do want to start with is the cash bond system. For many of you who live in the city of Indianapolis, who've experienced, how the bail process works.
Yeah, let me actually not to cut you off here.
Yes,
Let me. I want to ask this question because I really want to break it down for people who do know, just to give them a reminder. But for those who don't know, so they can understand the process, how this works. Now, explain what your job is.
Okay.
If when a suspect is arrested, he goes to for the judge, he's given a bond.
Correct.
Correct. Now,
It used to be that way. So when a suspect is arrested, okay, of course, I hope so. They're given their Miranda rights, okay, and then once they're incarcerated at the county jail, they are to see a judge, okay, which the judge will set a bond amount. That bond amount could be $10,000. It could be 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Now, if you notice, I just said the dollar amount. I didn't say surety or cash. Normally, okay, constitutional wise, in the old days, in '90s and that, it was just surety bail. Now there's cash bail. So to break that down, surety bail means that you need to use a bail bondsman. That means that you have to have a bail bondsman.
Why was that?
That's just constitutional why. That's what the judge has see fit for that defendant. Okay.
So attaching a bail bondsman to a suspect or to somebody who's been arrested and locked up and accused of a crime.
Correct.
Is that more like security, like a extra eye on this person? Is that what that do?
Correct. So when the judge sets that surety bail, okay, that defendant, either mom, dad, a friend, or a cousin who meets the requirements, which is 18 or older. Certain bail bondsmen have their certain, guidelines. Everybody's different, but legal wise, you be a resident, I know with my company, we're very thorough. Good job history. We also do a risk assessment, which, if we see that this person has failed in the past and things like that, we may require a second indemnitor. An indemnitor is the person who is willing to sign the forms, the documents, and pay that money, which is 10%, which is no longer 10%.
What is the percentage now?
It's 8%, and we will get more into that once we get into the cash bond situation. Right. But we went 8% so that we can allow low-income families can better afford to bail out their family member. So moving into the cash bond, now the judge can also set a cash bond, okay, which means that they can pay a 10% cash bond. Now, here's the thing. There's been a lot of talks that, the bail industry is taking a hold of low-income families, and that the bail industry is getting all this money, and we don't care about this individual. You got to pay the money. It's this way. So, here's the thing. They trying to say that the cash bond system is a better system as far as for low-income families. Now, that's really tying into pretrial release. So we're really talking about three different things here. We're talking about surety bail, cash bail, and pretrial release, which is House Bill 228, okay, the legislative bill. And we will get into that, which I know the city of Indianapolis has adopted that rule, okay. Now, the pretrial release is giving the opportunity, okay, for defendants to be released out of jail without bail, okay. So when you hear us say, okay, the public is at risk, here's why. Surety bail, okay. And this is going back to what I was saying earlier. So now we're going to start, and I'm going to explain why surety bail is more safer than pretrial release and cash bonds, and why it's more affordable. Okay. We're going to start with cash bonds first. Cash bond in Indianapolis. Defendant gets arrested. I receive a phone call either from a friend, family, mother, John Doe, who. But this individual knows this individual. They call me. They give me the name of the defendant. Once I do a database search on this defendant, and I see that this defendant has a cash bond, I have to turn this individual away. Okay, respectfully, honorably, I have to say, hey, under the condition of this bond, due to it being a cash bond, I can't help you. Now, let's say that this cash bond is a $50,000 cash bond, 10%. Okay, that means that they have to go to the clerk's office. And for those of you who's watching this and residents of the city of Indianapolis, anytime you receive a cash bond, you do not have to call a bail bondsman. That bond is processed directly through the court. Okay? You have to go directly through the court for a cash bond.
So meaning, when that person goes to the court for a cash bond, when they get released, nobody knows this person can jump bail. They can cut. They can
Correct.
Do it. Now, when you're attached to a bail bondsman, there's some people responsible to make sure you make it back to your court hearing.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And Taj, the thing is, and this is what's troubling to me. Okay, not only as a bail bondsman, but as a citizen. Okay, and don't get me wrong, we've all made bad choices in our life. We all are human beings. Okay, you have police officers, bondsmen, you have lawyers, you have everyday people who walk the streets who have made bad choices, and you have those human beings who may make a criminal bad choice that's a low offense. Okay, and that with this new pretrial release program that they're doing is, okay, this person's not a fighter. This is their first time. I agree. Okay, yeah, give them a chance. Okay, a petty theft, or okay, there could be a OWI, a DUI, or a first time, or such nature. okay, I understand. Okay, they're not a flight risk first time. They may not ever see that person again. But when you get a first time offender armed robbery with a deadly weapon, or pointing a firearm, or molestation, or you know, rape, or you know, things within that nature, do you really want to release that individual? Okay, and let's say that there is. I mean, we're not police. I'm not a police officer. We're not police, but you know, how do they assess that? Do you release them on pretrial release, and there is actual substantial evidence against this person, and you're still releasing them? So these are questions that we, as a public, should ask, because this person could be your next door neighbor, you know. So I do somewhat agree with the pre-trial release, but there needs to be a guideline, okay? So when that person's on that cash bond, John Doe can go straight to the clerk's office and say, I want to get John Doe B out, okay? And what the clerk does is just make them sign this piece of paper. That person's on their way. And guess what? They release him. Who's going to watch him?
Right.
Okay, you have over 1 million people in the city of Indianapolis. How big is that? What's the sheriff team made of? Is it 12, 24? How many active failure to appear warrants are there? There's more cash bonds than there are surety bonds. So on these failure to appear to go to court, how many, what I would like to see, how many of them are cash bonds?